everybody. I hope that you are being exceptionally wonderful this week. If you are new to the show, welcome to Michelle's Inspiration Hour. And if you have not met me, my name is Michelle Henderson, and I am a spiritual certified advisor. I'm also a psychic medium, a speaker, and also an author. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. And I hope that you get inspired by this show and you get the motivation behind it and you think I can do anything that I want. So, welcome to the show. If you are watching, say hello, hello. If you are watching after the pre recorded and you are watching it not live, say hello in the stream. I would love to see who is watching this. All right, and hopefully you will be inspired. I am just so excited to invite this guest on. All right, his name is Wajid, and from Pakistan to England, and then settling in America. Wajid has lived an interesting and varied life in many fields of endeavor. An avid hiker, he managed to climb atop of a huge mountain and had a very spiritual awakening. We're going to hear more about that. He, as a qualified speaker, healer, and teacher, he can demonstrate how to reignite the spiritual flame within us and send it outwards to all, improving not only our own personal lives, but those of all life streams that live on our beautiful world. He is also an author of a book, The Struggle for World Sanity. So we're going to listen all about his wonderful inspiration behind the book and about his life. It is quite an interesting one. So let's go ahead and welcome him. Welcome, welcome. And you know what? I have some music that I need to play as we welcome you and I really had to listen to the music. And I thought it would be great if we did rock and roll for some reason. I just felt like you were the rock and roll type of guy. Well, welcome. And I hope that you are doing well. Thank you so
Hey,
much for coming.
hey, Michelle, great to see you. Wonderful to be on your podcast.
Well, thank you. And again, if the audience is there, say hello to our wonderful guest. Now, we got to hear some guests that are coming on, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Hello, hello. We got to say hello to Tess. How are you? Hello, hello. Hey, Kimberly. Oh, my goodness. I don't know if you're still at work or if you're driving, or, oh, you are. You're still working. Okay. So what Kimberly does is she is at work and she listens. And I said, as long as you're not driving, I am so comfortable with that. So Wajid, what I want you to do before you kind of explain about your life, let's talk about your book. All right. So tell me the inspiration behind your book. What made you say, you know what? I've got to let people know about my life.
Well, basically, I wrote the book 3 years, over 4 years ago, and kind of it took time. I don't know why, just kind of sat on the shelf, and I had to get some approval. And then a friend of mine just kept pushing me to say, you need to get this published. So he helped with the formatting, and we got it up on Amazon in August of 2020. And it was very interesting that when it did appear, it went straight to number one on Amazon on two categories: UFOs and mysticism and spirituality. So it showed me that a tremendous amount of interest in those topics. Of course, it didn't stay number one, but it was a good indication that it was a right time to write this book. Primarily because what's going on in the world's a mess, and there's a great change that's on its way. And I think it's time that people started learning some truths that have not been revealed, especially by the mainstream media.
Absolutely. And that's what I got a lot of it. And it is very spiritual. And we'll talk about the different elements in it. And don't you think that I always kind of look back when COVID first happened? Do you think that there was actually a spiritual awakening that, the spiritual realm was trying to wake us up and saying, y'all need to wake up?
Well, it put a lot of people in isolation, and a lot of people were out of work. So it gave people time to reflect at home about their life, about their own, inner um, guidance and what they want to do. And after COVID, a lot of people quit their jobs and decided to do what they wanted to do. And so I think, yeah, I think every experience that we're given is for a reason. And unfortunately, sometimes adverse experiences teach us the most.
Absolutely. And did you hear it out there? Because I'm one of them. That during COVID, I think a lot of people had that self reflection, and I was, especially me, and I was going, I'm not really happy with my job. I'm burned out. And that's, believe it or not, is when I came out as psychic medium on Facebook Live. So, it's like Spirit was saying, you got to wake up. So I feel like a lot of people are doing that. So, Wajid, when you look at your book, what is your favorite part in your book?
I have a lot of favorite parts. I think the most favorite part is my experience I had out in the wilderness with a spacecraft, not, I believe, not from this world. And for many years, it happened when I was about 18, and for many years I didn't discuss this experience. It was very personal to me, and I think part of writing the reason for writing the book was to honestly, if people keep an open mind, they will. This was an experience that was very personal, but it actually did happen, and it proved to me that we are not alone in the universe, that we are being observed, but not only observed by in- uh, individuals a lot more scientifically advanced than us, but also, and this is the kicker, but also more spiritually advanced than us, that actually care for us as a whole, as a race. And so we've been observed for many millions of years. And people are slowly awakening to the fact, because technology and science has advanced, that of course it's meaningless now to say that we're the only life streams, not only in the solar system, but beyond. And so, this is a main aspect of writing the book, to let people know that we are being watched and we are being cared for, by beings that love us more than we love ourselves, unfortunately.
Right, right. Well, do you think that they chose you, knowing that you would probably be the messenger to write this book?
That's a great question, because I always wondered why I had that experience and not many people did. And I kept it to myself. And I think everything happens for a reason. And I believe, yeah, that was an experience that I needed in order later on, at this time, to openly show people that, yeah, we are being watched and cared for. And the message that these beings are sending to us is loving, caring, and asking us to go back to where we used to be. We were very advanced, spiritually advanced beings at one time, but we regressed based on our own negative karma or negative actions. And so we can only be responsible ourselves for the conditions on this planet. And so, and also, the main reason for writing the book was also to inspire people, to let people know that these conditions are not going to last forever, that there is going to be a spiritual renaissance occurring on this planet, and conditions will be absolutely beautiful in the centuries to come. So it was a message. It's a message of hope.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, the one thing in your book that you were talking about, whenever you did see the spaceship, that it was on a different frequency in a different realm. Do you think why a lot of people do not see the alien spaceship is because we can't see this frequency where you were able to, because you have worked on, your meditation and your spirituality? Do you think that has something to do with that?
Well, yeah, I mean, you as a psychic medium are aware of dimensions that are invisible, that are not visible to people on the physical realm. Does that mean they're not there? Of course not. And so we're not even aware of the dimensions on this planet. Um, and the yogi master that I followed, an Englishman by the name of Dr. George King, said there's six levels above us, four levels below us. We're not even aware of those realms. And so if it occurs on planet Earth, it's the same also on planets like Venus and Mars and Jupiter and other planets beyond the solar system, that they also have higher dimensions of frequency where if as a yogi adept you can actually project to these dimensions as my yogi master did and converse with higher civilizations. So yeah, they primarily may not be on the physical realm but higher dimensions. So sometimes you see UFOs or flying saucers suddenly appear and then disappear, so they can move from dimension to dimension. And yeah, they do exist on dimensions that again science has not yet calibrated, but will do in the future.
And I know that, yeah, I've done some research on that as well. And I know that during the biblical days, they talked about how if people did not understand what an airplane was, or had never seen an airplane and they saw one, that your mind just kind of closes it and says, well, that has to be a bird or something. So, because we're not familiar with it, that's one reason why we may not be able to see it. But I agree with you with the different frequencies. Let's talk about your yoga master. Okay, I think that was so fascinating that you were able to be taught by a yoga master. And I saw that he actually did like yoga 8 to 10 hours a day. And I mean, that is motivation, the inspiration behind it, and very spiritual. So, kind of tell us what did you learn? What's the number one thing that you learned from him?
Well, there's so many things that I learned from him, but the biggest thing I learned was that he was a very practical individual. And so everything he said, the only way to fix the problems on this planet is in a practical, scientific way. And he demonstrated through his own powers and his own wisdom that spiritual energy is actually a physical, tangible energy, just like electricity. Again, it hasn't been researched like electricity has been done for centuries. It's kind of new to the planet. I mean, it was well known in Atlantean times and times of Lemuria, but not in modern times. And he said we can scientifically harness this energy by drawing it down mentally and sending out, so we're receivers and transmitters of this energy. And it's there's nothing airy fairy about it. It's a science which people like the master Jesus used to help raise the dead and cure the blind and heal the lepers. It's that same energy that we can use now on a universal level to help transmute and uplift the planet, which is in dire need of this spiritual energy. Everything else has been tried and everything else has failed, and it's the last beacon of hope that we can use in these days to basically help save the world.
And that brings me to my point too. That just kind of brought it in. My favorite part of your book was exactly that we've tried several things that are not working. I'm going to have to put my glasses on because I can't read it regardless of it. It's actually my husband's glasses because I've lost mine. So, okay. So I love this point. We have tried wars. They have not worked. We have tried the economic system of unfair distribution. It has not worked. We have tried various political solutions. They have not worked. We have even tried different religions which have been warped and used incorrectly to cause more hate and suffering. So that was my favorite part of the book, and it's interesting how you kind of led into that.
Well, the higher beings, I believe, have visited us for many centuries. I believe people like Jesus and Buddha and Krishna, Patanjali, Lao Tse, Sankarachara, they were beings from higher dimensions, advanced beings that taught the basic spiritual laws. Like today with all these wars going on, what part of the spiritual law of thou shalt not kill does man not understand? And it means thou shalt not kill. We do not kill each other. Basic laws of reincarnation, which again was suppressed in the Christian religion for 700 years. As Christian scholars are now questioning that openly, why these teachings were removed from the Christian religion to bring this one life only in order to suppress the masses. And so these things, the law of karma, action, reaction is opposite and equal. These are the things that need to be taught to children in school long before math and science, that you are responsible for everything that you do in your life. You can't blame anybody else for the conditions of your life right now, but only yourself. And you have to take charge and take responsibility. And we shirk from those responsibilities. I don't. I shirk from my responsibilities sometimes. I don't want to, believe that I'm my brother's keeper, but we're all one. I'm talking to I'm preaching to the choir when I'm talking to you, Michelle. But we know that we are all metaphysically connected. We are all one race that that come in different experiences, different cultures, different races, different religions, all to learn on this beautiful goddess, this living, breathing goddess we call Mother Earth, in order to gain uh, enlightenment, wisdom, and joy and peace. That's our heritage. We're not supposed to be in the mess we're in. Our heritage is joy and peace and serenity, and we've strayed away from the basic spiritual laws and have caused this chaos. And we've only ourselves to blame. But on the same time, on the positive aspect of it, we as a race can change, raise our vibrations, help each other, and this is the call of action in the Aquarian day age. Is to not only raise our vibrations but help raise the vibrations of everyone on this planet and heal the planet. That's what we need to do.
Absolutely. And I think that's one reason why I'm so glad that your book is out there and that you're out there also having this conversation. Because I think being human too, you get that little ego in the way, and you're going, I'm not like that person. It's like, you are more so than you think you are. So I think that the more we hear it, though, the better that we'll become more spiritual, and then we'll raise our vibrations. So, what shall we say? One book at a time or one conversation at a time? But hey, it will make a world of difference. And I really like how you talk about reincarnation as well, because it's like, let's see, you talked about where whenever we reincarnated, if you knew that you were going to have to be reincarnated again after doing a terrible act like a murder, and you have to relive again, that you would not do it. So kind of talk about reincarnation.
Well, reincarnation is an aspect of our evolution, and one of the main reasons that the cosmic beings are pushing that truth is that if people realized, that reincarnation is a truth, and there's so many, I don't have to explain. There's so many. You can research YouTube and the internet, and there's so many fantastic colorations of people being part, remembering a past life, young kids remembering these things and going back. And so, um, one aspect of reincarnation, if the media and the religions of the world, actually, we've been told that those who are the religious leaders who are suppressing the law of reincarnation will actually be replaced in the future by those who will speak the truth. And so, one thing, once reincarnation is taught around the planet, people will think twice about going to war. Knowing that they're going to kill somebody who may have been their brother or sister, or mother or father in a past life. And so, this one life to live is, as again, a ploy with Orthodox religion to keep the masses controlled and not free them. And the biggest sin on this planet is ignorance. So if people become enlightened, about these spiritual laws, about who we really are, about our past, then they will think twice before following and being hypnotized and molded by by the media and politicians and corporate leaders and celebrities, and then start thinking for themselves. And that's the call of action today: is to listen to your intuition, is to listen to that still small voice that tells you what's right and what's wrong.
Absolutely. And why do you think that we don't remember our previous lifetime?
I think it's done deliberately, uh, in compassion, because who wants? I mean, everybody wants to know that there were maybe Queen Nefertiti, or
Absolutely.
or King Solomon in a past life. But what if I mean, do you really want to know that maybe you were a soldier that killed civilians, or you did something
Right.
atrocious? So these things are kept deliberately. But it's been said that once you become enlightened, you become an adept, you remember all your past lives, but you can remember them without going mad or freaking out. So I think there's enough to concentrate on this life with all the problems that
Absolutely.
we have. I don't think it's wise to keep trying to regress into past lives and figure out who you were. You get some glimpses like I did, but that's only to help you in this life. So it's a kind of an action of mercy, where the memories of the past life are suppressed, or not given to you. But eventually, once you gain enlightenment, you'll be able to look back and understand your past lives.
And I agree totally with you that if we concentrate on a past life instead of this life, then we're not going to be able to evolve on. I know that there's been some children, on YouTube, there's a show that showed these children learning or remembering their past life. And it brought more, terrible things. They felt anxious about it, and so it wasn't a healthy thing to really remember. But once they remembered and they put it to rest, then they were able to move on. But you could tell that it just brought horror to their life.
Yeah, I think that's criminal to do that, to
Hmm.
bring psychological stress to children that way.
Right.
It
Absolutely.
it should not be done unless it's under the supervision of somebody who really knows what they're doing, and that person will not even consider doing that to children, never mind
Absolutely.
adults. And for adults to regress through hypnosis through their past lives can cause tremendous amount of psychosomatic trauma. So I would definitely not vouch for that.
Be very cautious about who you go to if that's something
Exactly.
that you want to go to. Yeah, absolutely.
But
Well,
as children,
mhm.
we remember past lives. A lot of children remember past lives, but then as they grow older, they just move on. So yeah, it's something that really needs to be opened up now, to everybody on the planet.
Right. Well, I am fascinated with your life because you also climbed this mountain in Africa. So tell us about that because it also brought you spirituality as well, climbing this mountain.
Well, yeah, it made me very spiritual because I was kind of half dead when I was at the top
Okay.
of the mountain. I was
It's like
I
I
was
made it.
I was calling out for God to save me.
I understand that.
Uh,
Yeah. Oh, I would be the same way.
but I think everybody, all your listeners, need to go out to nature, to be, to the ocean and the mountains. It's good. It's good recharging of the mind and body to go out into nature. The biggest lesson I learned was climbing Kilimanjaro. It was great to be above mankind, the plane, the cars and the pollution. It was, being halfway on top of the world. It was good to just cleanse the body and soul. And I've never been closer to a higher power than I did on Kilimanjaro. And so, yeah, it's very important for people to do that. To go into nature instead of looking down at social media and the gloom and doom on their iPhone, to look up to the skies and look at the cosmos. Look at that was one of the most beautiful things. I remember looking out at the tent one night at this large cloud, and then I realized it wasn't a cloud; it was the Milky Way, and just the wonders that we're all connected to nature. We're part of the cosmos. Nobody is separate from anybody, and that realization is really dawns heavily when you go out and become part of nature.
Absolutely. And see, you heard it from him. I'm always telling them that. Get away from work. Okay, Kimberly, we're talking to you. Get away from work and have that self care and really get out in nature, because it does. It brings much more energy and you actually replenish that way. All right. So we're going to do something fun. Okay. So we're coming to the end, but I was actually watching something, and when you're watching a program and you go, oh, I need to add that to make it, kind of a game show. So I'm going to go ahead and add this. Okay. So I'll make this bigger, but it is a wheel and it's going to determine the last question that I ask you. Okay. And so let me go ahead and spin it and see what the question will be. Okay. All right. All right. So, what this question is if you had to pick a time, a decade, at any time that you could choose, like in a time machine, where would you go and live and why?
Um, that's a good question. I don't think I'd like to go to my past. Our history is tainted with many, many horrible things. I would definitely project to the meditation my yogi master had about the future. Um, when it's going to occur, we don't know. It may be in the centuries to come, but he actually has seen the future where this planet will not only rise in the heavens, but there will be we will be an enlightened race. There will be no wars, no religion, no political system, no money system, um, and everybody. There will be no borders. There'll be no races, and this is the destiny of mankind. So it's and so. Uh, I would like to project to the future and be part of that enlightened race that is coming to Earth in the centuries to come. So it's up to us to decide whether we want to be part of that or we stay in regression. If we stay in regression, I don't think we'll be allowed to live on this planet. We will be reincarnated on a younger, more primitive world to readdress all the horrors of our past. So I would love to be in that new age now, but it's going to take work, and we all need to roll up our sleeves and make it
Mhm.
happen for everyone.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for coming on. It is the spiritual advice has been awesome. And we really hit some topics, and I really learned a lot from your book. So I want to thank you for that.
Thank you,
So
Michelle. It
thank
was a
you, thank
pleasure.
you, thank you. Now, this next half, I'm going to do psychic readings for everybody. And I always ask my host if you, and it doesn't hurt my feelings at all, because if you're really high spiritual, it's like, I don't need that. I find it within, right? So do you feel like you need a card pull for you today?
For me,
Yeah, for you.
yeah, absolutely. I'm open
Okay.
to I'm open to everything, especially somebody like you, Michelle.
Oh, well, thank you.
Absolutely.
Hey, did y'all hear that? That's totally awesome. Okay, so let me get centered, because you know how it is when you're talking to somebody and then you have to get centered. And all right. And what I do whenever I do psychic readings to get my ego out of the way is I doodle a little bit and then I'll choose which card to go. And I have three different decks. I love your energy. It's very calm. And it's like, you're anticipating is what kind of what I'm feeling from your energy. I was trying to tap in. Let me see. Okay. I am being pulled. These have like chakra colors on them, and they're really, it's kind of like healing or something that you learn from a lesson. So let's go ahead and do this. Okay. Okay. What I'm really feeling and what I'm getting from you, my dear, is that and what I'm feeling, it's like someone hugging you and saying you need to love yourself more. I don't know. I'm feeling that you're, critical of yourself a lot of times, but you need to put that on the back burner and not because you have no problem loving other people and helping other people, but you have a harder time loving yourself. And I think it's something that has happened in your childhood and you want to, that keep triggering a little bit. Does this resonate with you?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. And I'm going to pull this card. Oh, I love this. And I keep feeling meditation. And I know it's something, it's really difficult for us to, find a time to meditate. And I just kept feeling meditation is the number one thing that you need to do. And the card that I was pulled was replenish. Okay. And like what we were talking about, going out in nature. And I think what has happened with you is that you've had all of these experiences. And then it's like, all right, is the party over? The party is not over yet. Okay. You're not done learning. You've got to open that spirituality up again and just take it one day at a time. The party is not over for you. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
You're
Well, I'm going to leave.
definitely on the beam. Definitely on the beam there.
Okay, awesome. Well, we love you and your advice, and you are changing the world. And so you should be very proud of that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So are you, by the way.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, I certainly hope so. I certainly hope so. That, it just seems like after COVID, well, I've been trying to change the world for a long time with kids, working with kids. So,
Right.
yeah. So one day at a time, and I just love that energy that you have, that calming energy. So I want to say God bless you, and I'm going to continue to do readings. And so again, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I hate to remove guests because I always want you to stay. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm trying to find. There we go. I don't want to. The choices are, I guess you're going to have to remove yourself. The choices are banned from the studio. It's like, I don't want to ban them. So I couldn't find a place for you to exit. So you may have to exit yourself, my dear. All right. So let's go ahead and let me know that you are there so that I can do readings. And what I'm going to do is I want to play some more music to get the energy rocking and rolling so that I can feel that energy out there. And I want to show you what I also want some dancing going on. So let's get that energy going. All right. And of course, I think of Snoopy every time bringing up the energy. Let's do it. And then let me know if you want a reading. All right. So if you are out there, let me know. And if you want a reading, all right, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. So let's go ahead with Tina. I hope you can see that. Tina, I would love a reading. All right, Miss Tina. Hope you can hear me. I keep moving my microphone away so that I can have some more room. And I know that my sound gets worse when I do that. So I'm going to try not to do that. All right, Tina. Let's do it. Okay. You know what? I probably also need to play some music while I'm thinking so that, I'm looking down at cards. That might be another good thing to do. I don't know. I think the music really helps. So let me do this. I've got the cards ready to go, Tina. I'm going to turn on some music that loops. And again, I mean, this is why I love this new program that I'm using, because it is so comfortable and it's got so many things. I'll turn it down. See? So that when I'm looking down, you at least have something to listen to. Okay. All right, so Tina, what I'm choosing for you is more spiritual cards. And I love this one. Okay, because I know that you are such an optimistic person and you tend to smile all the time. But this card, I think it's awesome because it's really showing you what you need to work on for this week. Okay, so so dragon, discover your courage. Okay, and I love this for you. So whatever is going on, you need to really find that courage and just do it. Don't really, get your ego in there to think a lot about it. Just do it and get in there. Okay. And but hopefully that will inspire you this week. If anything comes on or comes into your life and you're going, maybe I need to think twice about it, just do it. Okay. All right, Tina, I hope that resonates with you. Have a wonderful week. All right, so Kimberly, let me find you because I saw you on there. Okay, so reading. Okay. So what I'm really getting for you, and it's so interesting because I think right now is you're really having to think, and it's more of a technical that you really have to think technically quite a bit, and it's wearing you out, and just something that you have to do. And it's like, do I really have to be on top all the time? Okay, is what I really feel that you're feeling. So let me do these cards that I did for our guest as well. Okay. All right. So the very bottom. And see, this is one thing that should make you feel good about being on top all the time. And yes, so you are being reliable because of that. But also, you need to see how she has a harp and she's playing the harp. Well, what you need to do is you need to really listen to your own, I want to say play to your own drum or listen to your own chords. So whenever you're feeling tired and you have to keep giving people advice all the time and you have to be on all the time, just make sure that you take a deep breath and listen to what your body and what your spirit is telling you, and you may need to stop. Okay, so hopefully that will help you, my dear, this week. So yeah, so definitely listen, and you need to really say the word no more so than what you do. All right, Kimberly, hope that resonates with you. All right. All right, and I saw Donna's comment. Donna, hello. Oh my gosh, I can't believe. so Donna lives really close to me, and I'm getting together with a couple of her friends, and so I'm going to be doing some reading today. So with her tonight. So Donna, I'm not going to do it right now because I'm going to dive more in depth for you later. Okay, so you're going to have to wait. So, but good to see you. Good to see you. All right. Right on. I got a gemstone bracelet to keep me calm. Okay. Yeah, and it's like you need to know, and that's actually good. And it's got almost like a psychological thing. It's when you have a bracelet or a necklace or a ring on and you feel that you're getting tense or whatever, you want to feel into that and say, okay, I'm calm. And you may also want to have the word calm, or no, I'm not going to get, overly anxious about this. So definitely calm yourself down. But yeah, that's totally awesome that you are finding ways to calm yourself down. That's great. Okay. All right, guys, I think that is everybody that is here. And if you find the recording later and you see the show already recorded and you wanted a reading, you want to follow me on Facebook or also subscribe on YouTube, and that way you'll know whenever I have a live show on. And if I am interviewing a guest, I only interview the guest for like 30 minutes, and then I'll start doing the reading. So, and then if you want a private reading, more in-depth reading, then you want to go to my website and schedule an appointment, and that's www.michellehendersonmedium.com. All right, everybody, thank you so much and have a wonderful week. And again, I hope this inspired you to do whatever your heart desires. Okay. All right. And so I'm going to leave you with this. Bye-bye.